Hi,
Hello.
everyone. Welcome. Sorry, Håkan, I interrupted you. We were like thinking, thinking alike as usual. Yes, hi, everyone, and thank you for tuning into Azure User Group Sweden today. It's Saturday, and I'm glad you could join us today. How about you? How are you, Håkan?
Yeah, I'm really good. Now the summer is starting to show off here, as you can see in my background, which is, by the way, which is a live background. I've gotten the questions about my background, if that's a virtual background, but it's actually a live background.
Yes, in lots of clouds. And today we will be speaking about Microsoft Defender for cloud. So it's a good, like a perfect background, real background. Yes. Yeah. So before we start or show the code of conduct, we would like to introduce ourselves. So I would like to introduce my co-community leader, Håkan Silva Nagel. Håkan is a Microsoft MVP for AI. He is also a manager for big data and AI at Miles in Oslo, and very active in the community, especially with AI community in Norway, as well as the Norwegian .NET user group, and also Azure User Group Sweden. So I'm happy to have you with us also, Håkan.
Yeah, thank you, Jonah. So let me introduce you to Jonah. So Jonah Anderson is an Azure MVP, and she's also working as a senior software engineer consultant at Forefront Consulting, and she's a true community hero who is both working as a mentor, as a speaker, as a blogger, and she's also currently writing her own first technical book.
Yes, also about Azure.
Yes.
Thank you, Håkan. So, before we bring in our special guest speaker today, let me just show or remind everyone about our code of conduct. So, we are a community who strive to be inclusive. So, we have this code of conduct, and we would like to remind everyone to be nice and friendly, listen with purpose, and be thoughtful. Be respectful to others, seek to understand and not criticize, and be curious and open to share ideas, and be inclusive, be respectful in your comments and questions. So, if you have more comments or feedback of our code of conduct, you can read the information and the link or on our Meetup page or GitHub page, and feel free to contact us as well. Thank you.
Yes, and then I think it's time here for us to introduce our speaker.
Yes.
Let us add him to the stream here. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Well, good afternoon, whatever it is. It's noon, actually.
Yes, it's noon. Yes, that's right. How are you, Sasha?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you very much for making me for this opportunity to be here. It's my honor to be there.
Yes.
It seems to be a little bit cloudy where you are too, Sasha.
Yeah.
Yes, very nice clouds.
We all are.
Yes.
Yes, let me introduce here Sasha to the audience. So Sasha is a security and Azure expert he's also a cloud security architect and an instructor. And actually more than 2 decades ago, he began programming in assembler on the Sinclair CX. And he owns IT training and consultancy companies that help companies embrace the cloud and be safe in cyberspace. And beside that, he also deliver Microsoft Easy Council and his own Azure and Security courses, and also PowerClass Workshops internationally. And Sasha is a Microsoft MVP, MCT Regional Lead, and Certified Easy Council Instructor. Yes. So we're very happy to have you here on board.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
An honor to have a guest speaker like you with such expertise and experience in your field. So welcome and thank you.
Thanks.
Do you want to say a couple of words here to the audience? What you will present here today?
We will take a look at the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Recently, It has been renamed from Azure Security Center to Microsoft Defender for Cloud in the batch of renaming of a lot of products that were named differently. They now share the same prefix, which is the Microsoft Defender. And we will see some recently introduced news. And after a few slides, I'll just open the browser, and then we will see what's in there. So it will be like well, demo rather than more demo, less slides session. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. It's always something is always happening in the Microsoft Defender family, so there are some news there as well.
Yes, that's interesting. I look forward to learn from your session. I'm sure our audience as well. We actually have greetings from our audience already. We have Ashish saying hello, and also Kent also joining us today, saying hi. So welcome, welcome everyone. And by the way, before we bring in Sasha and have everything in the stage, Håkan, I think we should inform everyone about our after session fika. Go ahead.
Yes, yeah. So the thing is here that we would like to invite all of you who are interested in something that we call a Swedish fika, which is taking place in a Zoom meeting here after the session is ended, so that we can interact and get to know each other, and also ask more questions here to Sasha. So we will display the link to that at the end of our session, so just stay tuned.
Yes.
All right.
Great. Yes. So it's time for the show and learn some security. Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Thank you so much. So the stage is yours, Sasha.
Thank you. Hi, welcome. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. It's really exciting. And thanks a lot for everyone joining us today. Today we will talk about Microsoft Defender for Cloud. It's getting started. It's an introduction to Microsoft Defender for Cloud to see what it is, what it can do, what is in there. There has been a lot of changes recently, and we'll take a look at the product, at this service, which is a comprehensive one, as much as we can in this under an hour session. But feel free to ask, feel free to type a question, and join us after that, after the session for Fika as well. So thanks a lot for joining us. We'll be talking about Microsoft Defender for Cloud today. And Microsoft Defender for Cloud is part of the Microsoft Defender family. But first of all, as I've been introduced already, my name is Sasha, and I'm doing the Azure and Security. But enough of me. Let's talk about Microsoft Defender for Cloud, what it is. So to protect our workloads in the cloud, actually to protect our cloud workloads and other workloads, and not only in the cloud, but hybrid workloads and other clouds workloads as well. We have now possibility to do that from one single pane of glass, and that is the Azure Security Center, that was called previously now Microsoft Defender for Cloud. And Microsoft has a lot of products in Microsoft Defender family that span multiple areas of protection. We have Microsoft Defender for Identity, we have Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps, we have Microsoft Defender for Office 365, and so on. And now we have Microsoft Sentinel, we have Microsoft Defender for Cloud. And you might be asking where this product is placed, how does it fit in all the picture? So all these products are standalone, of course, but they are very intertwined. They work closely together. So to get the most comprehensive protection and complete protection, I would say deliberately, bluntly, you need to have all. You should have all these products set up and integrated and up and running to protect yourselves. But we are today mentioning one part of that area, and that is Microsoft Defender for Cloud, that covers identification, that covers protection, And for example, very close sibling to Microsoft Defender for Cloud is Microsoft Sentinel. If you've been working with other Microsoft Defender products, and you will see that Microsoft Defender for Cloud and Identity and Defender for Identity and Cloud Apps as well, they all have the possibility to connect together, to interact, to share the data, and they work the best when they work together. So they have the best protection. Unfortunately, we don't have so much time today to go through each and every product, but we'll mention Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So we have our attack, let's say, path, which is the or protection path, which includes identification, protection, and detection of threats, and then responding and recovering from threats. And roughly, Microsoft Defender for Cloud covers the first part. And you see that there's a lot of overlap. But let's say with Microsoft Defender for Cloud, we will protect our infrastructure. We will get an insight in security posture of it. We will get the information about the status of security of these products that Microsoft Defender for Cloud covers, and so on. So let's take a look at Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So additional advanced threat governance, cloud and hybrid workload protection. So what we can protect with Microsoft Defender for Cloud: server VM, SQLs, containers, Kubernetes, traffic, IoT, DNS. We will see a little bit more after. What it provides advanced intelligent protection for not just Azure workloads, but also for hybrid resources, for the on-premises resources, for the resources that are placed in other clouds, in AWS, in Google Cloud Platform clouds, and so on. Non-Azure service, on-premises service, and so on. So we are able to protect a lot of assets, and it's logical. So why? Because not the companies in the past. Well, every cloud provider thought at the beginning, more than 10 years ago, that in 10, 15 years time, all the companies, or well, a majority of companies, will go and have almost all their assets in the cloud. But now we see that that's not totally true, and we have more and more hybrid workloads. We have multi-cloud architecture, and you can tell that by also looking at the different products. So Microsoft Defender for Cloud for other vendors' products as well that provide integration with the different clouds. So Microsoft Defender for Cloud is one such a product that can offer such protection, not just for Azure, but for non-Azure, hybrid, on-premises, other cloud workloads. And how it does it's very easily, very elegant. We will see how to start and what are the features. So it provides the central visibility, and we are as the Microsoft Defender for Cloud is set up. Actually, you will see that there is no much to set up in the first place, but recently introduced server plans provide different layers of levels of protection. It almost instantly generates some recommendations and secure score. But let's see what kind of protection it offers. It offers two I would say two parts, two kinds of protection, or it covers cloud security posture management or CSPM, which gives us the visibility. So the cloud security posture management gives us the visibility and helps us to understand how our security posture at the moment is. And also it gives us the advice how to improve the security posture, how to increase the security of our protected workloads, monitored workloads. And then also provides the cloud workload protection and governance and regulatory compliance assessments and so on. We have the security alerts, and these security alerts are powered by Microsoft Threat Intelligence. Defender for Cloud is continuously assessing the security states of monitored protected workloads. and we can then, based on these recommendations, we can optimize, improve security by configuring these controls. Well, let's see what's in the portal. So enough of the slides. In fact, let's see what's in there, and how this works, and what do we have, in fact, in there. So let's take a look at the portal right now. All right, maximize it a little bit, and then let's get rid of the menu. So first of all, you access Microsoft Defender for Cloud. You can type it right there, and the search bar really works well, excellent. It gives you all the information about marketplace, documentation, resources, and so on, but also about services. So Microsoft Defender for Cloud. There are 2 tiers. There is a tier without a tier, let's say free tier, and there is a paid tier. Actually, now we have multiple tiers, multiple plans recently introduced. As soon as you open the portal, then you see on the left side, you see the three distinct parts. So you see the general, you see the cloud security part, and management. We will first go to the management, because it is where we set up these things at first.
Yes. Hi, Sasha. Hi. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
I have to wait a moment till you're done, so don't disrupt your flow. Yes, we have a question from Kent Eckenston. I hope I pronounced your last name well, Kent. But he asked, he would like to know the difference between P1 and P2 licensing, and why I should get more expensive one.
Excellent question. Thanks. I'll answer that in a minute and 30 seconds, just right after going to environment settings. And good question. Thanks. Yes, and very valid question, of course. So, just a word about the console. So I've zoomed out a little bit to see to show all the different possibilities here. The inventory, information protection, and firewall manager right there. Currently don't have any files, just recently deleted it. But let's zoom again at 100%. You can see the subscriptions, AWS accounts, GCP project, and so on. First of all, when you start, it's immediately at the top, it's getting started. So this is where you can see the subscriptions available and log analytics workspaces that you can turn your plans on and use to protect to turn the Microsoft Defender for Cloud on. So it allows you to select number of subscriptions and log analytics workspaces, and then upgrade in bulk. But I would suggest that you don't do that. That you do, first of all, it's always 80% of planning and 20% of execution. So you should think in upfront what you want to protect. What is, of course, everything we touch here. It's costing us some money, so we have to also figure out and know what this will cost us, of course. And I think that we should pick the options manually and go gradually and enable the options that are available. So don't just rush and enable everything, but first of all, go to the environment settings. Now we have a new part which is in 3 parts. So if you have Azure, AWS, and GCP workloads, then you can see all of these. You can also, for now, you can access also the old experience of adding multi-cloud environments. So AWS and GCP accounts. I also have right one here, the old one. But usually we would now see and use actually the new one, because it provides much more. It's easier to connect, and it provides more options. So to answer your question and go directly, if you have management groups, then all these subscriptions are gathered under management groups. And as I expand this a little bit, then we can see also the log analytics workspaces that are available. For example, let's click on a subscription, and then we can see Defender plans. If you don't have a plan included, so let's say that I've turned off everything, then you have the Secure Score for free, and then you have recommendations, and that's it. So you don't pay for Secure Score, but this is included, and this is free. Then you have Defender for Cloud plans, and these plans include plans for protecting different workloads, servers, app services, databases, storage containers, recently consolidated, resource manager, DNS, and so on. So then there are plans and pricing, and there you have two plans for the servers. You have also different types of databases that you can protect, and you also have different parts of the containers workloads that you can protect as well. So I've turned everything on, but you can also take a look at the change plan. And so first, what do you have? The plan 1 has all of these green things that are being checked available. At the first plan, let me zoom in a little bit. In the first plan, you have Defender for Endpoint licenses included as well, and these are also very good. As you have these licenses, and if the agents are installed automatically, you will also see these licenses, these agents. Let's go to the actually right there at the security, Microsoft.com. You will also have these workloads onboarded automatically. You can onboard endpoints manually or automatically. These were onboarded automatically, so we can see the device inventory, and I haven't added a single device here manually but one, and all of these are added automatically. So if you have plan 1 and plan 2, which also includes these devices, then you will see also all of these devices onboarded automatically. So it does include Microsoft Defender for Endpoints license, which is very, very good. Then we have the threat and vulnerability management, and then possibility automatically onboard an agent to generate alerts and to provide the data integration. So the plan 2 includes all of these red that are not available in the plan 1. So the plan 2 also includes just-in-time VM access, which is automatic management for ports that are open on virtual machines, network layer threat detection, adaptive application controls, file integrity monitoring, and all of these others, adaptive network hardening, and so on, log analytics, free data ingestion, and also integrated vulnerability assessment power like Qualys. You can also use, we can also use the ones that are available from Microsoft, and so on. And of course, when we select these plans are then applied to Microsoft Defender for Service plan to all the servers that are available in our subscription. If you want to enable this on a different level, then you can also, let's say, take a look at the Log Analytics Workspace. Yeah, I see the question right there. Defender plans for on Log Analytics Workspaces also include these two. Then of course you have these environment settings. Let's take a look at these very quickly. And then we have let's take a look at just quickly these. Well, then Log Analytics agent for Azure VMs, and then we can edit the configuration where you can also enter the default workspace that are created to use the default workspace, Log Analytics Workspace, that is created by Defender for Cloud. And you can also choose the to connect Azure VM to a different workspace. So, for example, this one or the other one. So the Microsoft Defender for Cloud actually uses this, and we can set it up to use any Log Analytics workspace that we want, and we can also set up the level of the data that will stream that will be streamed in there. That's the automatic setting, but we can then use it, make it change on the Log Analytics workspace level as well. So we still need some data to be stored somewhere. The Log Analytics workspace is used. So Log Analytics agent actually uses Log Analytics workspace to store the data from where the Defender for Cloud is actually getting the data and then analyzing that. So we can enabling you can enable on the Defender for Cloud plans on two levels. So it is either on Log Analytics workspace level or on the subscription level. If you mean, for example, if you have, let's say, 10 servers, there's no way that you can exclude 2, for example, if you're asking. And the only way that you can influence that would be, for example, that you enable this not on a subscription level, but on the Log Analytics level, and then it will be enabled only on the ones on the servers that are reporting to the Log Analytics workspace level, that workspace that you set it up. So in this case, no automatic agents will be provisioned, and only the servers that will be protected by the Defender plan will be actually be included in this price. Other than that, it's included. It includes every workload that is under this plan, and that also includes the app service, so instances per month and so on. We can select the different databases. There are also different plans. Recently introduced Azure Cosmos DB, which is in preview, and that is free. And we can also set up these as well a little bit more granular. So it is going better. It is not as granular as we would want to be, but still better than it was previously. At least we have 2 plans. Previously we had only one plan, so either it was on or off. But now we have a little bit of more granularity. So at least it's not 15 for all, but we can choose the 5, for example. So once we've done it, we choose the auto provisioning, which I suggest that you, depending on the architecture that you are running, but if you are doing the automatic onboarding, installing of the Log Analytics workspace, then it's easy. As well, these are automatic settings that can be turned on for vulnerability assessments for different machines and Defender for containers recently in the preview and guest configuration as well. We can then choose the email notifications, of course, and we can then integrate that as well with the cloud. As I mentioned previously, we can integrate these settings and information with the cloud apps and Defender for endpoint and so on. As well, we have this similar integrations check marks at the in the cloud apps for Defender for cloud apps, for example, to connect with the identity with other options. Plus, we have also workflow automation, and which is the separate blade in there. The separate blade, we will take a look at it. Recently, Continuous Expert also gives us the more options. For now, we can export the settings to the Event Hub or additional Log Analytics workspaces. Still loading in there, so a little bit slow, but we can choose what to export and where. As well, we can export and integrate third-party. Let's wait for a little bit. We can integrate with the third-party SIEM, curators, Splunk, and so on. So there are some other options that are available. Still loading as well. And oh yes, let's wait for another couple of seconds. Of course, Log Analytics Workspace. Plus, there's a security policy that governs the specific subscription that we can take a look after. Really, this one is getting slow. Okay, so exit page and refresh. We can add on-premises workloads for protection. Since I've exited, I need to open page again. For some reason, the page was loading for too long. So what we can do to add on-premises workloads. So we can, what we can do. We can go, come on. Let's get rid of this. All right. We can take a look at this one. So we can go to the Arc and to Azure Arc. With Azure Arc, we can add additional servers from on-premises. So Azure Arc virtual machines, any outside virtual machines, servers, SQL servers, and so on. Oh, I recently deleted one. Couple of these, but basically how we can do that by Azure Arc. Our Arc provides management to single different servers, so we can add a single server, multiple servers, different servers from update management. This is in preview and with Azure Migrate. So what we need to do is generate script, and it's very easy. So we need to provide an access, we need to provide a permission and connectivity, of course. After we've done that, then we set up where we can where it will be added, and of course after that we can okay, let's select resource group. I would select just one to make it available next. So we can, of course, add any physical location tags, custom tags, of course, multiple of these. And then, very easy. First, download, copy the script, download, and open a PowerShell console to run the script, and then and that's it. So after we've done it, then we will see the any servers, any SQL servers, any data services added in there, and automatically it will be added also to then we can see also the Azure Arc workloads available in the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. But what we can do, you can add any outside workload, for example, on premises. Let's say let's pick any Log Analytics workspace. So Log Analytics workspace. We can go and pick anyone. Let's say Azure Security Sentinel. Let's for example, that we want to add outside on-premises workloads and stream the logs into the Log Analytics workspace. What we'll do, we go to agent configuration. Actually, the agent management. After we've added that, so what we can do, we can download Windows Agent 64 and 32-bit. We can also add any Linux servers, and then we can use these to add to download it, to install it, and after we've done it, these will be automatically also protected as well, so they will be visible in there. So once we've done it, and added all these features, all on-premises servers and we can also proceed and add other services as well. So what we can do, we can add the GCP project, we can do add AWS accounts. Now it's very easy. So we can add different accounts, Amazon Web Services. What we need, we enter the AWS account ID. We need the, of course, onboard subscription resource group, and we can use the single account or a management account to add multiple accounts, and then select plans. I will take a look at the existing AWS subscription. Let's say this one, to add to see the settings. So these are the plans for now, and I can well, I hope we will see more of these things in there, because previously at the previous plan you had no option. So you just connected your AWS environment account, and then you would see recommendations for S3, C2 workloads, and so on. But now it's there's more regularity. There is more granularity, let's say. And so the security posture management service containers, you can also configure the auto provisioning and also the amount of the logs and so on. And then after that, you configure the access, etc. So that's the plan. And then we have also the standards that are available for AWS protection. Once you onboard any AWS account, then you can also see the regulatory compliance and standards that can be evaluated on these subscriptions, actually accounts, as well as the GCP accounts, Google Cloud Platform. Defender plans also include different plans. And we can see these plans are also available. Security posture management service containers. These are some of these are currently in preview, but we can then expect to see more, as well as we can see the available standards in there. CIS standards and GCP default standards, and as we have one in the cloud. As soon as we connect all these environments, then we can see the recommendations starting to pour in. So we can see the first of all, the recommendations. You will see the recommendations in there. If you have a free plan as well, you will see also the security posture. You will see the security score, the secure score, actually. So these recommendations are grouped in under different categories. And as you can see, for example, enable MFA. It doesn't matter if it's Azure workload or it's an Amazon or GCP. So these are all gathered together under one category or multiple categories. So, but what it is, a very nice thing is that Defender for Cloud and other defenders and the consoles in Azure and Microsoft 365 actually have a very nice color coding. So if you haven't seen it before, then it's very easy to distinguish what it and to see what the things in there are. Red, something's wrong. Green is good. Orange, something is worth of attention. There is a warning. Blue is informative and informational, and the gray is not applicable. So it's very easy to start working with it. Still, the GCPs are not showing this here. I think I have some problems with authentication, so I have to get take a look at this. Otherwise, we will see also the filter button right there, so we can filter these recommendations based on workloads, actually the environments. But we can see the impact of the secure score and potential secure score increase. The point is, the secure score is the aggregate score and weighted score based on all these recommendations. And it's a very nice thing. The secure scores can also be seen in Identity, Microsoft 365, Microsoft Defender for Office, and so on. And it provides a very good way how to compare our security posture to the previous one, so what it was on yesterday, and we can compare today's with tomorrow, so we can see the whether the security score is going up and down. And not to remember these, we don't have to remember these numbers or write them down, because we have workbooks and visualizations of all the data, so we can follow the trend, and it's very useful in getting bigger picture of our security posture, and of course raising the security posture, improving it. So that's the point. Probably you won't see this blade or screen ever empty. Some of the recommendations you might not deal with, but some of them might be here that you haven't know about them, and that are very important, like enable MFA and so on. So it depends on your on the organization and the policy that the organization have, and you would pick whatever you want to remediate, and take a look at it, see what it takes to remediate. And there's a link, of course, and there's the actually the potential score increase, maximum score increase, and the status of these, and the unhealthy resources. We also have very comprehensive filter right there. But we can also take a look at the all recommendations and see all of them, and filter them out and see them sorted by different categories. So by severity, or by status, or by different initiatives that are applied onto that. And we have also different actions here. So we can fix these to resolve the issues in bulk. We can, of course, also enforce some things, because Microsoft Defender for Cloud uses policy to enforce these things. And we can see some exemptions and so on. So we can, for example, do these recommendations, let's say, fix these things automatically for multiple resources at once. So let's say keywords should have soft delete enabled, or whatever it is, Microsoft Defender for DNS should be enabled. That's the one recommendation. And of course, we don't have to remediate everything, but if there is a fix button, it means that there is a way to do that in bulk. So if we have, I just picked one recommendation, but if we have multiple servers or subscriptions that these recommendations apply, we can just click on fix and fix two resources, which means this will be enabled on these, or something will be installed, like endpoint security or something else. Or we can trigger a logic cap, for example, if this applies to something else. Let's provide an example of something more useful. Let's say remediate vulnerabilities, for example, and apply system updates and so on. So let's take a look at it. Machine should have vulnerability assessment solution and so on. So findings. Well, let's pick this one. It doesn't matter. We can of course always use to exempt the recommendation, because if it's the environment, if it's too noisy, or if we don't want to do that because we deliberately don't want to, like in previous example, if we want to suppress the messages for example, for enabling DNS, and okay, recommendations a little bit slow. And then we can exempt these recommendations for all these resources and suppress them a little bit for the future, so they don't show up. There are two categories that we have to pick. So either we mitigated this, so we resolve it, or we actually accept the risk. So that's the thing. How can we how to decide whether I need Defender for Cloud or Sentinel? They are two different products, and these products overlap a little bit, but they provide a different they they are used to for different things. So Defender for Cloud provides security posture management, vulnerability management. And what does it mean? It means that Defender for Cloud looks for recommendations in configurations or misconfigurations of the protected workloads, and gives us these recommendations in a list, and also can give us the alerts based on these vulnerabilities, or based on things that Microsoft Defender for Cloud is protecting us from. It is, as we can see, for example, let's go back a little bit. Some of the recommendations are refreshed more or less frequently, and these recommendations and refreshments go from 30 minutes to, okay, I just picked one that has that has nothing. Let's see this one. Actually, wrong one. Yes, for example, the freshness interval can go from 30 minutes to 24 hours, depending on the severity. And we can then see the updated list of these recommendations. So the point is, with the Defender for Cloud, to raise its security posture, so to remediate for vulnerabilities, and eventually answer or respond to any security alerts, like suspected brute force attack attempt. So what we can do with this, for example, suspected brute force attack attempt, you will see the same alert in Defender for Cloud and Sentinel. But roughly, from a high-level overview, what you can do, if it's Defender for Cloud, then it will give you the recommendation to remediate for that. So that will be close the ports and use just-in-time access. If it's Sentinel, you would use that information to as a part of the investigation of what happened in your environment, and you will use it along with other alerts and information to hunt for possible threats. The threat is anything that is happening that can harm your infrastructure, and that would affect a normal operation. And that would be, you would go beyond that brute force attack attempt. You will go and look if there were any signs of possible, let's say, activities that in your environment that are direct, let's say, of the brute force attack attempts, so that are directly affected by this, and that are you look for any consequences or any possible actions that have arisen from that one and from the adjacent ones. So you would use Sentinel to track all the happenings in your environment that are connected to this. For example, there might not be just one suspected brute force attack attempt, but multiple ones, tens and hundreds. And as a result, you might then you can track whether any of these suspected brute force attacks were successful, whether any other resources are vulnerable, and what happened, whether a perpetrator was able to get in, and if it was able to get in, what to do. And since we are speaking, let's take a look at the azure.com quickly. We will be able also to get a look at the just a second. We will be able also to get a look at what happened and correlate all these activities in Sentinel, for example. A little bit out of scope, but let's take a look. Let's take a look at it, and we would go for hunting. And as we hunt for these alerts, we will see the incidents. For example, the incidents will show us the incidents right there will show us what happened. And these incidents are shared with Microsoft Defender for Cloud. And as we click on an incident, then we will be able to, in fact, also to view full details and remediate for that. Actually, investigate included in that, and what was also the consequences of this. And we can see the entities included and what happened. So as well as we can investigate all of these. So you would go beyond that incident. Let's take a look at a little bit more. In the last 7 days, you will also see the happened right there. A little bit. This is slowing down. Okay. You will see, for example, what happened to this. Just want to show you the graph and to see the investigation, what happened. You would start with that one alert, an incident, and then see all the correlated events. So you would, let's say, track what happened with the starting from these brute force attack attempt, and potentially track what happened as a result of that. If you are just starting and missing some alerts, you just you can go and generate some sample alerts. So these are sample alerts that you can respond to, actually, or that you can investigate and see what they are. Or in fact, you can see the suspected brute force attack. For example, this is the real one, which is the deliberately open database right there, that you can see the full details of the alert and what generated the alert, what was the account that was included, what happened, what were the related entities, the hosts that were, as well as the IP addresses that were used in that, and then we can take action. So typically in the Defender for Cloud, we will raise the security posture of our environment by remediating and addressing in the first place why this happened, because of some misconfiguration, or because we missed some, didn't have any just-in-time protection, for example, and so on. In Sentinel, you will then investigate what happened throughout the entire estate, because Sentinel also has the connectors to connect other products, different clouds, and so on. So you will investigate what happens in there, in all your environment, and track the potential threat, whether it's an application or an attacker or an entity, identity, virtual machine, or any workload, and so on, IP address. But also beyond that, it also gives you the real-time threat information, so you can, for example, track today one IP address range that wasn't malicious yesterday, because today was included in a botnet attack, for example, and you would then track all the activities from these URLs or IPs. While in the Sentinel, while in the Defender for Cloud, we will take recommendations for misconfigurations, let's say, and see, and as well as the adjacent security alerts. But if you want to take a look also from a different angle, that would be the you can sort these by a resource type, or by a resource name, or by a subscription, and you can sort it out and see that by a most vulnerable and workloads, and you can also remediate for that right there. Just quickly before we wrap it up, because we haven't just touched the main things. Security posture means we get the secure score for all workloads, and that's for free. And by looking at the security posture, we can click on view recommendations, then we will go in there. If we have any plan included, so for example, if we have plan 1 or plan 2, we will then first see the regulatory compliance, which is also very, very nice. There are a lot of different regulatory compliance standards: PCI, Azure Security Benchmark, Azure GCP, Google NIST, and AWS, and all of these. We can also set 1 hour because, for example, like this one, Be Secure, and via Azure policies. And we can also generate reports, download reports of these compliance, and remediate for any non-compliant resources. So we can see the categories and which resources are okay and which ones are not okay, what is affecting our compliance posture. Once we add workload protection plans, then we can see all of these things. This is the coverage. We can see directly how many services are covered or not. We can see the security alerts. Here is where I have turned on and all these virtual machines and workloads, and that's why this went a little bit up. Then I shut down these virtual machines a little bit and then turn them on again. So you can see immediately as you turn on the machines that have ports open, something is happening and generating. So vulnerability assessment, you have also advanced protection available for that these plans include, which is vulnerability assessment of the virtual machines. So you can immediately install any vulnerability assessment tool. That will be the Qualys or our Microsoft Defender for endpoints. So you have choice as well, or third party where you have to bring your own license, for example. And the Qualys and Defender for endpoint, you have a license included with these plans, but you can bring anything, any of these Rapid7 or Qualys, for example. And speaking of the others, okay. Let's take a look at these. We have very nice just-in-time VM access, which directly influences and adds alters the network security group rules and dynamically opens and closes ports. So we can, in fact, take a look at the ports that are available. We can add a port, and or we can use the allowed IP addresses and or any blocks, and actually maximum request time. So what happens? So instead of having these ports open all the time, we can, in fact, configure these machines and these IP addresses, and so the 338 port for 339 port, for example, will be open for only for the required time and not all the time. So the Defender for Cloud will dynamically change the ports on the network security groups, and the open ports will be for any of the range that we set up. So in this case, 3 hours, and we can granularly set this up. So it is very useful. It is very useful feature, as well as we have some other things like container image scanning or adaptive network hardening and so on, as well as the vulnerability assessments, etc. Plus, we have the integration with the firewall manager and their option information about the firewalls, about the secured hubs and secured networks. Plus, we can automate any of these regulatory compliance standards, security alerts, and recommendations. So, for example, if there is any, I would say, malware threat or any of these three things that can happen, we can trigger conditions and based on different name as well as severity, and then we can attach these and trigger any logic app. And so we have automation as well. And for the last part, the workbooks are also very interesting because we can see the secure score over time. These workbooks are all written in the custom query language, in the KQL. These are very powerful. So these are KQL is an extremely powerful language that Sentinel uses as well, and that is also should be the part of our investigation. So we can, for example, we should take a closer look at what happened there. Why our secure score went down significantly for a moment, or right there. So we will just narrow down our investigation to a specific time instead of going through the month of data, for example. We just focus on specific things. And the last part, actually, and I'm sorry that this is over so quickly, so that I want to show you GitHub, github.com. So Azure and Defender for Cloud. Let's go with this one. And that I wanted you to take a look at. Microsoft Defender for Cloud. I have to find manually, and because I can't remember where it is. Oh, there it is. Right there. Just want to mention the labs. Welcome to Microsoft Defender for Cloud Labs. So take a look at the Microsoft Defender for Cloud on a GitHub, and then go for labs, where you have a very nice lab, quite few modules that will be used for full Sentinel learning as well. The Sentinel has also its own lab, and there you can provision resources and do these labs. So these resources will get you, deploying these resources will get you one small lab, and that will be useful for other things as well. So these are the things that I want to share with you. And there are, of course, there's of course a lot more with Defender for Cloud rather than just these things. And usually the course and what we do for Microsoft Defender for Cloud and Sentinel usually takes 3 to 5 days, and even in some cases even more. But I suggest that you start small, that you start with the free tier, and then turn on gradually things that are of the most important, like importance, like the servers and other things as well. But if nothing else, recommendations and the security portal will give you the great head start with that. And if you have any questions, feel free to hang a little bit after in the Fika time. So there will be a link. I don't know if there has been a link already, but I will suggest that you join us afterwards. And I'm very sad this is over so soon, but I still urge you to take a look at the recommendations and start free. Generate some alerts, and as soon as you there are sample alerts, as soon as you provision your little lab and leave it running for a while. Of course, you have to have a subscription. Then you will see the real alerts right there, and then you will be able to see what it happens and how it works and so on. It's a very, very good product, very interesting, and there's a lot more to come. For now, that will be it. It's too short time for what Defender for Cloud actually can do, but and I'm a little bit over time, so
No problem, Sasha. That was a very great and informative session for all of us. You got an upload from Ashish, and even a great feedback from Kent as well about your presentation.
Thanks a lot. Feel free to hang afterwards as well.
Yes,
I think Håkan prepared do we have a QR code? I
yes.
think
So we have a QR
Yeah.
code here for our after session Fika. I'm just going to find it. So let me Let me post this up here. It looks like this, and you can also join us by using this URL here that is shown on the screen. So yes,
That's great.
Yes. All right. Yeah. So it's not really super goodbye yet because we're gonna meet in the after session
Right.
fika. If to those who wants to join us, but we can spend like about 15 minutes, 15 minutes just to this to mingle. But otherwise, I'm very thankful for your awesome and informative session, Sasha.
Thanks a
And
lot.
I myself would like to check on the labs because security, I'm a developer, but security is something that I'm very interested to get into as well. Yes. How about you, Håkan? How did you find the
I
session?
thought it was really interesting, and especially this last thing with this lab, so that you can actually get a little bit hands-on and practical
Yeah.
and try it out for yourself. I think that
Yes.
sounds great.
Yes.
There's the same for the Sentinel as well, for the ones who want to.
Okay.
Yes, I really like that we have great questions as well. I'm supposed to ask questions, and then you already got it answered. So it was really great. But thank you everyone for joining us live today, and feel free to join us later. I mean soon in our after fika session, and hope to see you again next Saturday. Have a great
Thanks a lot.
weekend. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.